Welcome to the Zatarain's Contractor Safety Orientation. At Zatarain's, our primary emphasis is safety. Please pay attention to this video as there will be a brief test following this orientation. Also know that this test will be graded, and at Zatarain's we require an 80% score for you to receive your Safe Contractor badge, which is good for a 1-year period. Personal protective equipment must be in good condition and comply with the Occupational Safety and Health Administration and the American National Standards Institute. The types of PPE required by Zatarain's include steel-toe shoes, safety glasses with side shields, hearing protection, and hair and beard nets. There are two different forms of allowable hearing protection: reusable earplugs and reusable earmuffs. There are two different forms of allowable eye protection: safety glasses with side shields and visitor glasses, which are available at the front desk and are only to be used by visitors or those individuals with prescription eye glasses. Hair nets are mandatory in the production area, and any individual with a mustache or facial hair longer than 1/16 of an inch must be covered by a beard net. Wearing jewelry is not permitted in the plant. All watches, necklaces, piercings, and body jewelry must be removed prior to entering the plant. The only exception is a plain wedding band without stones. Zatarain's follows a strict lockout-tagout program, and contractors must supply their own locks. Please refer to the Contractor's Handbook or your Zatarain's project manager for our policy governing group lockboxes. Contractors are also responsible for performing their own safety checks. Please never remove or bypass an existing lock in place or install a lockout device without a tag. Confined spaces are clearly marked throughout the plant. Individuals entering these spaces must have proper training and be able to provide documentation of that training. All injuries or incidents must be reported immediately to your contractor supervisor or the project manager. In case of serious injuries, contact the safety manager at extension 2358 if dialing from an inside line, or 504-485-9727. Dial 911 if the situation requires additional medical attention, and please make sure someone stays with the victim until help arrives. In the event of an emergency evacuation, please turn off all tools and equipment around you and proceed to the nearest exit. Once you have found your designated area, be sure to find your contractor's supervisor to check in. Please make note of the Zatarain's muster station shown on the diagram. In case of a fire emergency, please evacuate the building at the nearest exit and proceed immediately to this muster station. Material safety data sheets should be reviewed prior to working with a foreign substance or product. Material safety data sheets are located outside of the Quality Assurance Lab. Flammable liquids or vapors can be present some or all of the time. Please use extreme caution when working in areas where these liquids or vapors are present. Communication devices, such as cell phones, can sometimes cause a spark, and for this reason, These devices are strictly prohibited in these areas. The use of Zatarain's fork trucks is prohibited by contractors. You must have special approval from your Zatarain's project manager or the safety manager in order to operate a fork truck. All work over 4 feet above the ground requires a harness. Also, harnesses are mandatory for confined space entry. At all times, please keep your hands and loose clothing away from running equipment, and please be aware of your surroundings. Also, never work on equipment without releasing the hazardous energy and initiating lockout-tagout activity. Natural gas runs throughout the plant. Contractors should never cut, open, or weld any line not identified or depressurized. Also, no Level 2 work can be done without a safety work permit. Contractors must wear clean shirts or uniforms without any holes or decorative attachments. Shirts or uniforms must be tucked in at all times, and no objects may be carried in any pocket above the waist. Hats are allowed but must be placed over the top of the hairnet. Hats that have loose decorations or attachments are not permitted in the plant. Food, gum, mints, all tobacco products, candies, and soft drinks are prohibited in all areas of the plant except for the break room trailer and the outdoor picnic areas. Drinking water is available throughout the plant at water fountains. However, soft drinks, including bottled water, are not allowed in the production or warehouse areas. Everyone in the plant must practice good personal hygiene. It is crucial to always wash your hands after using the restroom before entering the production area. Nail polish, false nails, and fake eyelashes are prohibited in the plant. Brooms and brushes are designated for specific applications to protect our product. White brushes are for food contact surfaces only. Red brushes are for non-food contact surfaces, but not the floor. Gray or black brooms or brushes are for floor use only. Please be sure to clean up spills immediately to avoid any slip hazards. All containers must be labeled and covered at all times. Zatarain's product containers cannot be used for any purpose other than for the designated product. Splintering wood and glass is dangerous, and it cannot be detected once in the product. Please avoid using tools that include these products. Communicable diseases, open cuts, sores, skin abrasions are considered at risk to food products. Contractors with such conditions must wear gloves at all times. Contractors cannot use tape, wire, or cardboard to make repairs. Use of this material must be approved by the Zatarain's project manager or the safety manager. Only food-grade oils and grease can be used on equipment above the filling level. Smoking is only permitted in designated areas outside of the plant. Please use the butt cans to properly extinguish lit tobacco products. The purpose of the safety work permit is to control all maintenance, repair, and construction work performed by outside contractors. It's designed as a checklist to help control potentially hazardous work. Permits are valid only for 24 hours in one specified location. unless the work involves lockout-tagout, hot work, or confined space entry, in which case the permit is only valid for 8 hours. Permits need to be signed by the contractor supervisor, which is the individual directing the work, and the project manager, which is either a Zatarain's team manager or safety manager. The only exceptions are when work is being performed involving routine lubrications, the replacement of light bulbs, and other non-hazardous work. The safety work permit covers personal protective equipment, lockout-tagout, cutting or welding, in which case a separate hot work permit needs to be completed, confined space entry, which also requires the completion of a separate confined space entry permit, and finally, document wiring and programming changes. Again, the purpose of the safety work permit is to control all maintenance, repair, and construction work performed by outside contractors. This permit serves as a checklist to help control potentially hazardous work. The Management of Change section is designed to identify any equipment or procedural changes that are associated with the work being performed. The Work Hazard Assessment section will identify potential hazards associated with the work, review any additional PPE that is required, and determine if a lockout-tagout permit is necessary. If the work will require lockout-tagout procedures, then the safety work permit is only valid for 8 hours. The hot work permit section is required if the work being done involves hot work. If so, then a separate hot work permit needs to be completed as well. Also, please remember that all blanks must be completed with either a check mark or an NA for not applicable. Please keep in mind as well that if this section applies, the safety work permit is only valid for 8 hours. The Working at Heights section will be used to determine if any contractors will be working at heights and review the necessary forms of protection required. The line breaking section is required if a particular line in the facility will need to be broken. The Confined Space Entry section is designed to identify if confined space entry is necessary, and this section also includes a debriefing form to be completed after the work has been finished. Also, please keep in mind that if this section applies, the safety work permit is only valid for 8 hours. The Wiring and Programming Changes section is required for wiring and programming changes. There is space available to provide a line drawing of wiring changes or to describe the programming changes that will need to be made. The Approvals section of the Safety Work Permit requires the contractor supervisor's signature, which is the individual directing the work for that period of time. There are also 3 separate signature lines for the Zatarain's project manager, which may include a Zatarain's team manager or the safety manager. The first signature approves the work to begin. The second signature states that an inspection was made while the work was being performed, and the third signature states that a post-inspection was completed after the work was finished, and it releases the area back to normal operations. In review, the safety work permit must be filled out by the contractor prior to starting work, and it needs to be approved by the Zatarain's project manager. Permits are also valid for a 24-hour period in one specified location unless the work being done involves lockout tagout, hot work, or confined space entry, in which case the permit is valid only for 8 hours. Permits must be posted in their designated work area, and completed permits need to be turned in to the safety manager. Upon passing the Zatarain's contractor test, you will be receiving a contractor safety handbook, which contains all of Zatarain's policies for contractors performing work at our facility. Please refer to this handbook for more detailed information, as not all information is contained in this orientation. If you have any questions during your work, please don't hesitate to ask your contractor supervisor or the project manager. Also, please complete the certificate of receipt at the end of the handbook and turn it in to the safety manager. Thanks for watching the Zatarain's contractor orientation. We appreciate your business, and remember that safety is a condition of employment at Zatarain's. Also, don't forget to sign in and out on the contractor visitor register located at the receptionist desk when coming to work.